What's up, everybody? Eric here. This would be my 5th vlog, I guess. I normally would do this walking around outside in the woods with my dog, taking my dog for a dog walk. That was going to be my thing. But it is daylight. I didn't take into account daylight savings time, so it's pitch black out, and sun goes down at 5:30. So I actually like standard time. I don't know how everybody feels about it, but personally I like standard time. I wish I would just keep it where it is right now, set the clocks back and just leave it. Because I'm kind of a morning guy now. That wasn't always the case, so I get it if you disagree with me, but I don't know, maybe it's because I'm older, I don't know, but I get up early, and I used to be a night owl. I don't know when it happened or when the transition happened. I can't quite remember the day or time, but I used to stay up late all the time, and I would sleep until I just had to get up. And somewhere along the line, there was a transition. I was even, for a little while, I was one of those 4:30 a.m. guys. Now I'm not really a 4:30 a.m. guy. I just wake up when I wake up, but it is usually around 5 in the morning, 4 or 5 in the morning. And I hang out with my dogs, and then when the sun comes up, I walk them. So standard time is good for me because the sun comes up. It's 6:30, 7 o'clock instead of 7:30, 8 o'clock. So I get an extra hour to get some stuff done, which is cool. Anyway, enough about that. That's why I'm upstairs here in my little studio in my attic. And I'm coming to you live from here. But yeah, so I don't know. I've been watching some videos that said if you do this kind of video, you gotta put in B-roll to keep people's attention and this and that. I'm really not gonna do any of that. Again, this is just a vlog just for me to keep track of some of this stuff. Hopefully get some followers, some other musicians and other people doing YouTube and side hustles and that kind of thing, and just see where it goes. But anyway, so my weekend was light. I only had one show on Saturday. I play a ton in the summertime. I'll do 3, 4, 5 shows in a week during the summer. And then after Labor Day, it kind of chills out a little bit. And so I take full advantage of it. If I only have one show booked, I don't book anymore. I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed to get all these shows. I know people around the country that are in more tourist areas or whatnot, they have trouble getting gigs all the time. Up here in Northeast Ohio, we have a ton of wineries, restaurants. You can literally gig as much as you want. If you can sing and play guitar, if you're not making your house payment doing it, then I don't know what to tell you. You should be. Follow me. Let's get it together for you, because I know how to do it. So anyway, that's for another day. But not really. That's for today. So I had one show this weekend, Saturday. I was at Grand River Cellars. It's a good winery. Been here a long time, and I love playing there in the summertime. They have a great outdoor stage. They have their own crowd. They have a built-in crowd, so lots of people go there. It's well established, and they have a nice patio with a stage in the corner. The wintertime is not as awesome. It's awesome, don't get me wrong, the place is great. It's well run, it's well managed. They get a great crowd, but the setup inside it's not as good as the patio outside, which is the case of a lot of these places. They're not music venues, so they're not really set up for music. This place, when you're not playing outside, when you're playing inside, you're in the corner, but there's a walkway between, there's another dining room, I don't know if it's a private dining room, but another dining room, and that's where the servers go back and forth. So they're kind of back and forth. So you're kind of separated by this path between your audience and, the servers going back and forth, which is fine, it's cool. But, one of those shows where you're definitely kind of just atmosphere, dinner music, whatever. I've had some lively shows there, some interactive shows, but for the most part, that's what's going on. This particular night I walked in and they had a little consignment sale going on. So where I normally set up, they had a couple tables, people were doing consignment sales, which is fine. You just adapt. You want to be very flexible, not cause problems, just go with the flow. And the owner came up and she was like, I got you kind of in the corner, and I'm like, no worries, don't worry about it. I always kid, I always say, I've been in smaller corners than this. So not a big deal. Ended up chatting with the lady who was doing the consignment. She was selling purses and stuff like that. And ended up chatting with her. She was very nice. So that was cool. But yeah, it was kind of, you're kind of off to the side there, but the gig pays well, and I still did well with tips. So, you got to remember what it is. You're not there to be a rock star. You're there to do, what they want. So you have, I don't know, I think there's kind of a art to finding out what venue you're playing, what their expectations are. You can even ask them, I've been playing there a long time, so I kind of know. But if you don't know, or if I play a new place, I'll go in and ask them, what's your ideal expectation here? And a lot of times they'll say, most of the time they'll say, not too loud so people can talk and, play cover songs and whatnot. So I used my small setup, which was cool. I played 6:30 to 9:30. So I was able to go from the car to the venue one trip. I had that little Bose S1 in a bag, my guitar, another bag that I have my stand and whatnot. I did another video on that. But that's a nice little setup in the winter time. In the summertime, I have a Bose L16 unit. I think one of these times I'm gonna make a video of my setups. I think that might be helpful to somebody because that was something I didn't really know when I was first starting. So, yeah, one trip from the car to the venue, that was cool. And everything was wireless, so I had no cords. No cord for the mic, no cord for the guitar, because those have the built-in transmitters on the Bose S1, and it's the S1 Plus, the new one, that has the transmitters that work with it. And then I used a Sennheiser transmitter for my BeatBuddy for the drums. So I still use the drums, the BeatBuddy. I still bring my board, but I don't use the TC Helicon, which is a vocal harmonizer. I don't use any of that. I just use the BeatBuddy. Still, it just gives it a nice beat, keeps your rhythm good. It's not overpowering. I keep the guitar and the BeatBuddy just under the voice, and I kind of showcase the vocal. So that worked out good. There was a big birthday party there. It was the first table in front of me. They put a bunch of tables together. So it's me and the consignment lady, the aisleway, and then a big, large table of 18 people or something. And it was cool. They weren't as interactive. A lot of times when I have a birthday party, it's awesome because they get really involved. These folks were kind of doing their own thing, which is fine. It was cool. No tip at the end. I don't know. Maybe it's because I've been in the service industry. Maybe because I was a waiter in college and I worked in restaurants. But I don't know. I can't imagine going and watching someone play music for 3 hours and not putting $1 or $2 in their tip jar. I mean, I don't know. It's fine here. It's not. It's we always as musicians say it's appreciated. It's not expected, and it's not expected, but it does make you feel bad. I mean, give me the $2 or $1. Just put some change in there, whatever. It's fine. And I still did well. I had a great night, but I just thought it was strange. They were right in front of me, and I did acknowledge their birthday and say happy birthday to the person wearing the birthday hat. But I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's just the way it is. Some people just don't think of it, and it's fine. So, but whatever. I did have some regulars that came and some friends that came, so that was cool. It's a good solid gig, and I play there a lot. I think I'm already booked there for next year. I think I booked like 8 or 9 shows, so it's a good consistent gig. And whatever they want from me, that's what I'm going to give them. I always say, just be professional. That's what these places want. These places have so much to do. They're managing people. They're managing the kitchen, the food, the this, that, and the other thing. I think with the music, I think the reason why I get so many gigs is, I don't screw around there. I don't drink. That's another show, another topic. I'll talk about that, but. It's work. I show up. They know if they hire me, I'm going to show up. They can set it and forget it. I'm going to play the proper show and keep people happy, and they don't have to worry about me. They can go worry about ordering French fries for the next night or whatever they got to do. So I think that's important. That's what these places are looking for. They're looking for good songs, good volume, professional, dress nice. That's it. The thing I wanted to mention is that, well, one, I wanted to mention that I'm booked, pretty much all booked for next year. So I did book more shows than I originally wanted to, and I say that I'm done. I still have some dates I could fill, but if I didn't book another gig for next year, I'm good. It's kind of a slower January and February. I don't know, I got like maybe 5 shows each month, and then, you know, busy summer. We'll see how it goes, but I'm gonna try and make some videos about how to get booked. I think that's what musicians want to hear. So, you know, not every show is a glamorous show or whatever, but if you can be consistent, you know, the point of this is that it's a side hustle. If you can do it, you know, if you can sing and play guitar or play keyboard, something like that, you should do it. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that I have been, you know, it's a lot balancing this. It's a lot balancing this this side hustle. You know, you got to do the marketing and the social media and the accounting and sales because you're booking and all this stuff. You wear a lot of hats. You know, you still want to be a singer-songwriter, so you have to work on your songwriting and singing, which is a totally separate thing from, you know, this particular side hustle. And then I'm also trying to get the internet, or the not internet, the social media thing going. So I'm trying to get this, you know, YouTube channel up and running, and it's a lot of stuff. So I was trying to post a small clip, performing clip, every night. I was trying to post every night at 6 p.m. I was posting on TikTok and YouTube, and I think it's just too much. I don't even know if I did it for 30 days, but it's a lot. I think I'm going to scale that back and just post those 6 p.m. clips like 3 or 4 times a week. When I have them done, I'm not going to worry about it. I don't think that I was trying to use those to get more followers and grow my presence. I think I'm just going to kind of, you know, just do it and see what happens. And so I appreciate everybody that has subscribed. If you like this kind of content, you know, by all means subscribe, and we can bounce some ideas off each other. And this week should be a pretty good week. I have an extra show Wednesday. So I have a show Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Not Sunday. Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So an extra show. And that's it. I guess the takeaway for today would be sometimes you're the soundtrack, not the spotlight, and that's fine. You know, just keep it up, keep on gigging, and if you got any questions or comments, you know, put them in the comments or whatnot, and see you next week. Have a good week.